Good evening, everybody. I'm Kcreginaldjr.
It's your man J-Dub, a.k.a. Justin Waters.
Welcome to Underdawg Sportz. Welcome to the show, everybody. Again, I'm Kcreginaldjr. here with Justin J-Dub Waters. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start off by talking about Mr. Burflick's suspension. Again, he got a year-long suspension this time for his helmet-to-helmet hit. Is it justified?
Look, man, he's a repeat offender, so he still get it this time. A year long. I mean, he should be happy he's not banned from the NFL. Period. I mean, he's done it so many times to so many players going back 5 years. It was probably time.
But your guy, he's a former Steeler, right?
No, Burfie's a former Cincinnati. He's a former Steeler killer.
So is that why you're willing to ban him for a year? If
No,
this was a Steeler, would you still have the same opinion?
Yes, because I was the first one to go on and say when Harrison hit Colt McCoy in his head when Colton was Cleveland, I was like, yo, Harrison deserved the 3-game suspension he got because you're spearing. I mean, you can kill somebody by doing that, like it or not, whether I'm a Steeler or
not
whomever.
Just somebody. You can kill yourself.
True. And Burfict, you got to go back to college. The reason why this kid was an All-American, but he was known for having that type of reputation, that's why he didn't get drafted. But he should have been a first or second round pick. All the experts said, but they said this kid has issues. So he goes into the pros. He does the same stuff all over again. So to me, not a shot.
So my question about this is, with all the information out there about head injuries and CTE, why the hell would he be doing something this stupid?
Because he still got to prove himself.
Prove
That's
what? You're making tackles. You don't need to try to kill yourself to do it.
I agree with you, but obviously this guy is still thinking he's like he plays in the 1950s where everybody's tough guys, like he's with Deacon Jones and all them. That's why I was like, you need to settle down.
This ain't about being tough, bro. This is stupid. Like, he's literally got to have CTE at this point in his life. He's got to.
He's got to, but he's leveled so many players. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen a meme about this, but they think Antonio Brown acting the way he's acting was because of Vontae Burfict when he nailed him 2 years ago.
Wow.
Which is funny. Which is funny. I mean,
yeah,
dude's the nut, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Come on now. Anyway, so I agree. Definitely a year. I don't mean like for the rest of this season. I mean, he needs a full year out of football. He needs to understand, because obviously this penalty, these fines haven't done a damn thing to change his mind. These suspensions haven't done a damn. And what happens is every time the NFLPA jumps in and reduces the suspension, at this point, I think the members of the NFLPA should stand up and say, nah, this dude needs to sit down. We're not supporting him because this is like he's trying to end careers.
I agree, but here's the thing. The NFLPA got to be the defense at all costs. Just like with the wide receiver we just mentioned, they always got to take that side. But everybody knows the play that happened with the Colts, dude was down. Dude was on his knees, and you still run at full blast and hit him. The play is done. What was the point of hitting him? Whatever it was, it's definitely a vengeful attack. It wasn't an accident. He didn't spear because the guy was jumping up and the guy was taller than him. This was just blatant attack. I mean, let's be honest. If this was any other type of situation, dude would be banned and dude might have gone to jail for it. If this was like some street type stuff, you blatantly hit a man while he was down.
Yeah, this is like this dude should be done. I know they only did a year, but he's not going to change. Like, he's been suspended so many times. He's been fined so many times. This isn't even a pattern anymore. This is like serial. So it's time for him to just be out of football. If you can sit, if Cap can't get a job, this guy doesn't need one.
Well, I agree with you with that. I honestly think at this point of his career, it's time to just go ahead. The NFL should literally just ban him for whatever amount they can. But if he comes back, I would be shocked. But I don't think any team will pick him up. Yeah. I think that's now the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. I don't even like starting off a show with defense. You know, that didn't sell anything. So can we move on?
Defense wins championships, baby. Come on, quit playing.
It doesn't sell tickets though. And it doesn't gain listeners either. All right.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
As we're moving along, we're going to talk about the uprise of the young quarterback. You got, what's his name? Minshew. Mustache Minshew is what you call him?
The stash, baby. The stash. I keep telling you. I know you don't watch college football, but the dude was nice last year.
Bro, I'm comparing him to Tom Brady. You know why?
Well, I don't know about all that.
You know why I'm comparing him to Tom Brady? Because he's a 6th-round pick.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I'm about to say,
I mean, he's winning. He's winning games, and he doesn't have the system Tom has. He's not in this robotic system that anybody could win in. He's in the Jaguar system.
And even better, he's doing it with less weapons.
So
still, again, your best receiver is D.D. Westbrook. I'm just saying.
And
your running back is a head case waiting to happen.
What about DJ Chark?
Who?
Chark.
Anyways,
dude is putting up good numbers. I picked him up today in fantasy because he's been very consistent. I mean, he's not.
He's been consistent. He's been consistent since Minshew was throwing the ball. Was he consistent with Nick Foles for a game?
Well, Nick Foles was only in half a game. So what do you mean?
Was he consistent last year?
Well, who was his quarterback last year?
Blake Bortles. It doesn't matter. Was he consistent last year?
Blake Bortles is garbage.
Hey, but Blake Bortles did have a year where he had Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson and made both Allens get paid a lot of money.
Where's Blake Bortles right now?
He is in L.A. He's the backup to Jared Goff. Yeah. Hey, he's collecting his check on the clipboard. I didn't say he was good. Don't get me wrong.
Do you think that if Jared Goff went down, do you think they would really play this guy? Do you think they would put their season on the shoulders of Blake Bortles unless the trade deadline had already passed?
Do they have an option?
Unless the trade deadline has already passed. I'm just saying, like, come on now. Get this kid consistent, and you can say it's because of the mustache. Well, the mustache seems to be a viable quarterback, and Shark has had good numbers so far this year.
I'm going to say that, but Stash told. I sat there and said that when they played against y'all, and I said, "Hey, man, the kids was cool. Trust me." He did slip to the 6th round because of offense. He's in Washington State under.
He didn't slip.
I forgot.
You fell off the cliff into the 6th round.
Well, here's the thing. He started at East Carolina, then he transferred. He could have went to Alabama, but he didn't want to be in that rotation with Tua and Hurts, who are both younger than him. He goes to Washington State. He goes into a spread offense. It's working, la. He probably wouldn't have got drafted if he came out of East Carolina. Now the kid's a 6th-round pick, and now, hey, he's the next coming. I wouldn't bring Nick Foles back. If I was Tom Coughlin, bye-bye.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I didn't have a lot of faith in Foles anyway, especially over 16 games. I mean, he's kind of got the perfect role. He had the perfect role in Philly. Let me play about 6 games a year. I might win you a championship. But he's not a 16-game quarterback. I
keep calling him. He's the Mariano Rivera of the NFL.
Absolutely.
He's a great closer.
He's a closer.
But he's not. You don't start. Not at all.
But we're talking about a quarterback youth movement, so I'm not just talking about mustache. What about Kyle Allen, Daniel Jones, and your quarterback?
Okay. Kyle Allen I like. I've said this before.
Wasn't he undrafted?
Okay. He was undrafted,
so
but the problem was
a 6th round and an undrafted free agent, both starting football games.
Got to start and winning games. Yeah.
Beat the Texans last week.
Beat the Texans. Did you see the play where he went when JJ tried to go ahead and smash his head in, he spun off of ducked and spun off of JJ and still got the pass off.
Man.
Cal Allen, but you got to also realize Cal Allen was an actual stud in college at A&M, and then he transferred to UAA, and then he tried to transfer to UT, but his eligibility was up.
Bro, he beat a team that I called a top 4 team a couple weeks ago. And now he's got me questioning whether the Texans are good.
I keep saying this. We'll get to the Texans in a second, but I keep saying this. Until they solve their secondary issues, I'm not sold on the Texans. And I'll be the first one. I said it before. They gave up way too much for what they got as far as the console and whatchamacallit.
Yeah. So Kyle Allen, do you think the Cam Newton era is over?
Okay. The reason why I'm saying the Cam Newton era is coming to an end, look what they did this year. They drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round or 4th round with Will Greer out of West Virginia. Spread offense. Dumps and plays a lot of dump into the running back and running, i.e. just like Christian McCaffrey. Now, you didn't even start the kid you drafted. You started Kyle Allen. He's signing. So that's 2 quarterbacks. And keep in mind, Will Greer is also a local kid as far as North Carolina is concerned. He's from the area. So you got 2 quarterbacks, and then Cam sitting there on the sideline. If Kyle Allen starts keep winning the way he does, Cam's days in Carolina are numbered.
Wow.
And it's not Cam's fault.
This is a former league MVP.
I agree with you. But again, it's almost like Donovan McNabb a couple years ago.
Is it really that
where
bad?
Donovan was a former MVP. Donovan was still pretty good, but he couldn't stay healthy. They bring in Michael Vick. You bring in what's the kid from UAA, Kevin Cobb. You bring in Nick Foles. You bring in those guys. And eventually he kind of weaned off, Donovan's hurt again. And finally it's just like, hey, man, you had a great time. It was a great era. We went to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But it's time for you to move on.
But Cam is hurt all the time because they did this to him. He's not had a receiver since Steve Smith retired. He's basically carried the team. They got lucky and got McCaffrey last year. So now they got this stud, but you still don't have a receiver. You haven't protected the man well in his entire damn career. So you blow him up, and now you're ready to cut bait. What are you going to do with this Kyle Allen when you still have a garbage offensive line? You still don't have a receiver. Yeah, he's winning a couple games, but he's going to get obliterated too.
Here's the thing. They're not going to make excuses for it because Kyle Allen's under undrafted free agent, not the number 1 pick in the draft, not your $20 million a year quarterback.
You know how many teams
right now
would trade for Cam Newton?
I agree. If you get a healthy Cam Newton, half the league would trade for him. Hell, I would love to see him at this point. I'm not even going to lie. Not even going to lie.
There's only
few
about
places
I wouldn't take him because their offensive line is that shitty. Like Washington doesn't need a quarterback; they need a whole new offensive line. Even if they bring back Trent, they still need 4 more players for that offensive line. They've gotten quarterbacks killed now for 3 years, and that says something not just about the coach, but whoever the general manager is, whoever's shopping for the groceries, because this offensive line has been deplorable for years now.
That goes way even for general manager. That goes to ownership because Daniel Snyder is the new Al Davis. He drafts people and players based off of maybe 1 year, or it's always one trick pony, either 1 year where he blew it up or because of their speed, but don't develop everybody around him. RG3 to this day, in my opinion, should still be
a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Correct, with the Washington Redskins. You killed his career and got rid of him. You killed Alfred Morris's career. You got a guy that you drafted way in, I think, the 7th round, and him and RG3 ball. They were the next great tandem, the next Aikman and Smith, the next whomever. And y'all don't give them a line, and you kill both of their careers, and now both of them technically are has-beens. Alfred Morris is always in the preseason with a new team, but never seems to make it to the regular season. RG3 is basically sitting back behind Lamar
he's
Jackson.
enjoying his paycheck.
He's enjoying his paycheck, but right now, dude should be a starter somewhere in the NFL.
I agree.
I mean, just sit back.
Yeah. What about the New York sensation now? Are we wrong? Is Daniel Jones really good?
He's winning. Here's the thing. I hate to say it's the way he's playing, I was wrong. Because I was one of the people, one of my best friends is from New York, going on a rant saying the Giants are purposely trying to destroy their team. They're trying to be worse than the Jets. Because I didn't see Daniel Jones. Every mock draft there said Daniel Jones was maybe a third or fourth round pick, and he went number 6. He went above Dwayne Haskins. I was like, man, this is straight racism garbage. And the only reason why Jones even fit the system is because he went to the Manning camp and he's good friends with the Mannings, and his head coach used to be Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator and Eli's head coach back in the day. So I'm like, all right, they're just loving the Mannings way too goddamn much. But he's actually playing well, and not to mention he's playing well without Saquon.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
With marginal talent.
With marginal talent. Your best receiver is Shepard, who can't never stay healthy. Your tight end is overrated in Ingram, in my opinion.
Has he played well at all this year?
He's non-existent. I drafted him in fantasy football.
He let a lot of people down.
And the thing is, he's supposed to be one of those hybrid type tight ends where he's more wide receiver than tight end, like a Shannon Sharp type player, not a blocker. Yeah, well,
he's let a lot of people down this season. A lot of people.
My favorite term. He's garbage juice. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Wow. So we're in on Daniel Jones now?
I'm going to go on a bandwagon because I just like to see the Giants succeed.
Bro, I'm not.
Especially in that division.
It's still only 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
This is the National Football League, and, 2 weeks isn't a large body of work. I don't care where they drafted him. I don't give a damn who his mentor is. He's got to play football. So I'll jump on the bandwagon after, a full season.
But, in today's world now,
we still got haters on Patrick Mahomes.
No, you can't do that.
I mean,
you can't do that with him.
We still got haters on Mahomes after a full season of lighting the league up. So I'm not giving this kid anything after 2 games.
That's all the old heads that hate Patrick Mahomes. Everybody that has sense knows Patrick is the truth.
The truth.
I don't even know why they even go there with that one.
All right, let's talk about your boy. Well, let's skip your boy because we're going to talk about him in a minute. So we'll talk about him. We'll talk about him under the Steelers because that's our first topic there anyway, right? But he is part of that conversation right now. These young emerging quarterbacks. Mind you, we didn't mention Haskins other than Jones got drafted above him.
And, we are skipping the number 1 pick, which is Kyle Murray. And he's actually playing pretty good considering he doesn't have a line. He's really, really undersized. And I'm sorry, he is not an inch shorter than Russell Wilson. They got Russell at 5'10" and Kyler Murray at 5'9".
No,
Kyler Murray's probably like
5'7". He's like my height.
He's not tall at all. And I'm looking at him like he looks like it's like playing Super Mario Brothers when Mario's little and everybody else is big. That's what he looks like. I'm like,
he's like my height out there with trying to play football behind a U.
And I'm sitting there like, yo, there's no way this kid needs to be behind he has to be in shotgun all the time.
I'm sorry. And even then, it's still a struggle to see because he's short.
I was like, wow. I watched that game. I watched last week's game. I was just like, nah, he's a little guy right there. I don't know about all this. He's close to 6 foot. Like, y'all must have been counting like his hair if he had an afro.
He must have had like one of them boxes going on or something. So we summarize all that to say these new faces, these quarterbacks, is the change of the guard here? Did Mahomes usher in a new era where it's time to see the Andy Daltons and Cam Newtons even of the world fade to the rear?
Well, and let's just be honest. You said Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is Marvin Lewis. He's just been lingering on this job because ownership likes him. Andy Dalton should have been gone, dude. Like, Andy Dalton right now is clipboard central. I don't know how he still has a job. And he's not getting any better, and it's not going to get any better, especially with no A.J. Green. You have one receiver. You have Tyler Boyd. And Andy Dalton can't even get the kid the ball. And I know Tyler Boyd's a stud. He went to Pitt. Trust me, I've seen his tape. He's a monster. And who, Boyd? No. Yeah. He's having a down year because they're not giving him enough targets.
Somebody on their team tore an ACL and is on IR.
John Ross.
Okay,
John Ross. Who I always said was a little overrated because he's a one-trick pony. He's just straight speed and that's it. But he's hurt.
He was doing all right.
But your possession guys, you don't give him the ball. So
he
good
don't
luck.
trust
That's all
anybody but AJ.
Yeah, but if AJ can't stay healthy, then what are you going to do? That's the issue. AJ is not, this isn't AJ of 5 years ago where it was always talk about him and Julio. AJ has not stayed healthy in a long time.
The health part you're right about, but when he's on that field, he's still the truth.
I mean, I agree with you, but when's the last time he played a 16-game season?
Well, listen, that doesn't happen a lot anymore at that position.
Right. So that's the issue. If you can find a time where he's played a 16-game season at wideout, I mean, there's no more Larry Fitzgeralds of the league where they're playing
Iron Man
17, 18. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald's like the Cal Ripken of football right now. It just ain't gonna happen.
Well, I can say that Travis Kelce's pretty healthy.
Travis Kelce's healthy and happy. Because here's your new factor now. When they're not winning,
yeah,
and they're healthy,
them little nagging injuries all of a sudden keep you out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he got to take time off because he's having a child and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, doesn't your wife have a child? Not
absolutely.
You. But okay.
All right. So the changing of the guard with the quarterbacks, I think we're pretty much there. I think they're starting to phase out these yesteryear quarterbacks that were marginal anyway, and they're just saying if we're going to have marginal, we might as well go young.
I mean, pretty much. That's in a nutshell. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you stick with the old regime, it's never going to happen.
Right.
So you got to go young.
Old people don't get better. Once you are what you are at a certain stage. Anyway.
That is true.
Yesterday was the premiere episode of SmackDown Live on Fox. WWE moved to Fox after $1 billion contract. They put on a pretty good show, except for shitting on their champion. But what'd you think?
I thought it was just raw repeated. I wasn't impressed. I mean, you did a horrible. You shitted on Kofi where it could have been at least an epic match. You lost. But how
his 11 years?
The belt, like 5?
Yeah, it was 7-second match tops. However long it took him to jump on Brock's shoulder and take the F5, which is not a devastating move, and I'm tired of it.
Well, you do have a point there with that. But so you have that X factor. Then you have, like I said, we debated about the women's match, but again, you're showing the same women's match over and over and over.
They do well in the ring together. Even Bayley looked good. And I don't say that about Bayley at all. Anytime. Even she looked good in that match yesterday. I like her as a heel. I like her getting a little nasty because she was a little dorky and wouldn't even hit a girl with a chair at a certain point. So I like that. So I like the twist to it. At least on the main roster. I mean, they may have done this at NXT, but, up until this Wednesday, I never watched that.
But, the funny factor is with this, it makes me think that they're almost going to have, like, the title thing is only going to be those 4.
No.
So it's going to be battle.
They were just doing this for this show. They had to bring out their stars for the first episode on Fox. They had to. Fox put on a huge production. You see that set? Like, they really, and they advertise it during the games.
Yeah, the pre-show and all that. Yeah, I've seen that.
They've invested in, there's going to be a spin-off show starting on the 15th of October. Here's a headline.
Again.
I think CM Punk's going to be on there.
Probably. To me, it was like, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean. But the matches were quality, even though you've seen them before. But if you haven't seen them before, because they drew 3.9 million viewers last night, all of them weren't wrestling fans. So if they hadn't seen those matches before, those were great matches to them.
And, of course, we're going to go with your factor. I keep saying the Fox move is bringing in more ECW, not ECW, sorry. I used to love them. UFC. They're going to start bringing in more UFC people.
I won't talk about that.
They're going to. It's coming.
I won't talk about
coming.
that. Since you brought this you brought this shit up. Let's talk about it. I'm tired of the UFC and WWE. I'm tired of you obviously failing now. You've lost a few matches at UFC, so now you need a job, and all of a sudden we're going to make you the top WWE star. Screw the in-house talent that have been here busting our asses for years. Because you got a name right now, because you just lost. I don't understand why this name crap. You just lost in your primary sport. So now I'm coming to WWE because I can't do what I used to do anymore. And the people that actually aspire to be wrestling superstars, we're back to the back of the line because here comes Cain Velasquez and more Brock Lesnar. I'm so freaking tired of Brock Lesnar.
But here's the thing. You do realize this. There is now, you got Brock, Kane, Sonya Deville, the Shayna over there at NXT,
all these
and Ronda.
people
So
are in WWE because they can no longer hack it in UFC. So I don't understand. Screw the people that have been here trying to hack it in WWE that can't get 5 freaking minutes on TV. Screw us. Let's bring this guy in that just lost the UFC title because he can't hack it anymore over there, and let's make him our champion.
It's all about money. You know that for a fact.
I'm not good enough to be champion in UFC, but I can be WWE champion.
Hey, that's the problem. And look at Vince McMahon. That's what he's wanting. He's wanting him and Dana White have a great relationship, and I think that's what's the issue. Dana's like, well, if we can merge the two, we can get a bigger fan base. So we can get WWE people, more WWE to watch UFC and more UFC to watch WWE. It's a hand in hand. That's why I said Daniel Cormier just lost. He lost his belt. He looked crazy when he lost his belt. He said his dream is to go to the WWE because of what he wants to do. He wants to fight Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
I would almost bet within the next year or two, he comes. He's probably at a WWE camp right now training. It's coming.
Yep.
Holly Holm also.
Great.
And Cyborg.
Yep.
So you're going to have this coming. This is the new trend.
Great. Anyway, I'm done with SmackDown. I'm moving to AEW now because the way they shit on Kofi. I might not watch it for. I want to see the New Day in AEW. That's what I want to see.
That would be better because I'll be honest with you, I don't see.
There's nothing else for them to do in WWE.
Right. They've all won champions. I mean, you can try to turn Big E to a heel, but then he'll be so down the pecking order, it'll be sickening. So,
I'm like, at this point, make Kofi a heel. Why the fuck not?
And again, he's still going to be way down on the pecking order.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to what we here for. Let's talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, good game last week. I'm not going to be overly hyped because it's Cincinnati shit. But the one thing I'm actually impressed with is Tomlin finally got it through his head to do a two-back offense. You can't keep giving it to James Conner because James Conner is not staying healthy as much as he can. And we should have won that San Francisco game. We had 2 costly fumbles by Conner because basically the work overload. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's not. They need to do a two-back offense. Even going back to 2 years ago,
I picked up Samuel in my fantasy team. I like what they did last week.
Smart move. Let's go back to Le'Veon's best year. Le'Veon's best year, which was the year before he wanted to take vacation. Connor was basically the H-back, scat back, whatever back you want to call it. Even going back to the year before where Le'Veon had D'Angelo Williams, formerly with Carolina. it works. The two-back offense works. It doesn't overload it. Yeah, you have your feature back, but then you have a third down possession back. You have a scat back that can run plays. The Wildcat situation, Steelers are known for doing that. They got away from that a couple of years ago, but Le'Veon Diggs was like the key in our Wildcat thing. Why people didn't realize just that they're still going to get the ball to Le'Veon is beyond me, but hey, it worked. So, realistically speaking, if we continue to go this route, we can have a savable season. Now, I'm not saying we're going to the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl, but we can have a manageable season. I can see if we play like that the way we're playing, we can have an 8-8 season versus right now looking at 6-10 or 7-9.
All right, so you're saying you're about 6-10, 7-9. I think I called you 6-10 at the beginning of the season. You called me crazy.
You did.
Oh, okay.
That was the beginning of the season. That was before all these fucking injuries.
Hey, I'm telling you, the old man was injured before he got to camp. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The old man was going.
I'm just saying, the way he was walking then, I told you, there's no way he was going to play 16 games. I told you that.
And side note, he is, if anybody thinks Ben is coming back anytime soon, is tripping. Ben, with that cast on, is clearly, when they showed that last week on Monday Night Football, clearly shows that he's getting Tommy John surgery. Yeah. That's the only time you have a cast like that. Because if it was at his elbow, he would have probably been in the sling. He's in a full-fledged cast. The last time I seen a cat in a cast like that was one of my homeboys that played baseball, and he got Tommy John surgery. Yeah, and he was never good again.
And if they hadn't already done it, they are wasting time because that's a year's injury at least. And after that year, it's going to take you a year to be able to throw the ball the same anyway. So if they had done this, first off, I think Ben is done. That's what I think. I think you're not coming back from this injury at this stage of his career. But maybe he's got a work ethic I don't know about, but looking at his stomach, I doubt it. But we'll see.
He doesn't have that work ethic. I'll give you that.
I'm telling you, I think he's done because you don't understand. I'm a baseball guy. When you have this injury, first off, it's not a 1 year and you're back to who you are injury. It's a 1 year, you're back pitching, and then maybe the next year you're back to who you are. But Ben is like, what, 36 years old?
37.
37 years old. In 2 years, he's going to be 39. I think he's done. Like I said, unless he's got a work ethic that his stomach is definitely lying about, I think he's done. So, on that note, Mason Rudolph.
Mason looked good. If you look at his percentage, he is at 87%. But Tomlin's smart. Well, I'm not saying Tomlin. I think somebody in the offense finally get it. Stop trying to go deep 3 of the 4 plays and go use your running backs, use your tight ends, use them to your advantage. And that's what the Steelers were doing last game. I mean, between James and Jalen, combined, I think they had a total of like 16 catches between the two of them in the backfield. You got to do that. Run the small route. Juju doesn't have to necessarily go deep. If you go ahead and do enough small ball, it's almost like the Patriots way. If you do enough small, if your quarterback is not what you call a deep thrower, deep and accurate, which Mason is not just yet. He is in college. This is the pros, obviously. Build him off of that until either we have a threat that can get open deep, or the defenses are going to play up a lot more so we can make something open. It's working. Juju was prime time open. It's working. Again, this is still Cincinnati, so it's not to say a lot. But whatever it is working now. And Tomlin's going into a game with the Ravens where they have a stout defense where now, and I'm going to say this before you get on me, now we have an opportunity because now they're showing the holes in Lamar Jackson's game. So this game could be a serious threat game to the Ravens. Everybody's downplaying that because we want to. Say it again.
Where'd y'all learn those holes in Jackson's game at?
Well, y'all game.
Oh.
And then whoever.
Wait, the defense that sucks taught the league something about Lamar Jackson? That
you the one that said they suck. I said our secondary sucks. I like their front seven.
I'm just saying, The world hates our defense, and we're gonna get in that in a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
I ain't never called you. I see. I was the first one that said I like your front seven. I just said your corner situation is suspect. But I said we're almost the same team when it comes to the cornerback situation.
Yeah,
Well, used to be.
I have a little more
Now we're
faith.
better than you.
I have a little more faith than you think in our secondary. As I said, we'll get there. So Mason Rudolph, is he going to continue to grow?
Yep, I agree. I think he does grow. I think he was trying.
But what about don't you have a problem with your offensive coordinator? You think this is the guy to develop Rudolph?
At this point, we have no other choice. The only reason why I'm saying this is the guy to develop Mason Rudolph at this point is because the fact of the matter is this is who we have as our offensive coordinator for the season. Now, a couple of weeks from now, it may change. You know what I mean? Next year, it may be a different offensive coordinator. Again, I was never a fan of Randy Fashner.
Who's your
Ben Roethlisberger was a fan of. Our quarterback coach is Randy Fashner. The OC is also the QB coach.
Oh God, that's dumb.
And that was Ben liked him.
That's dumb.
That's the problem.
That's dumb.
Ben's had an issue with all our offensive coordinators except for
it's not
one.
About a 37-year-old quarterback and who a 37-year-old quarterback likes. A 37-year-old quarterback is who he is. He's who he's going to be. This is about the guy that's going to replace a 37-year-old quarterback. And why would you not have a quarterback coach on this team?
Well, now we got to have that issue. We're about to find out. Ray Sherman, who our wide receivers coach, was also a former quarterback coach, so he may be it also.
Yeah.
I can see him giving him the reins to do that as well. It wouldn't be a shock. Regardless of the matter, we need to figure out what his strengths are. We gotta get this kid going, and I think we're in the right direction. Like I said, he has a deep ball. It's just not deep and accurate just yet. But again, we're having complications with our receivers real quick, and not to put too much on it. We finally benched Moncrief. We cut the tight end that couldn't catch nothing. Thank God. Johnson, who we drafted in the third round, not bad. I mean, again, I'm still pissed that DK Metcalf went one pick before it, but that just seems like Steelers history. It's always that. I like DK Metcalf a lot, sideline. And Juju's starting to be able to get open and play ball. With that being said, and of course, we already talked about the running backs catching the ball. With that being said, we play spread offense. We pass that ball around. We can win games.
Okay. So
our division's open.
It is. It's wide open because, like I said, Jackson was exploited, and it's shown since. So you like Rudolph to be the guy?
I do like Rudolph to be the guy. I do.
Okay.
There's a reason why you picked this kid in the draft, and it wasn't just because we had drafted his favorite receiver the year before in James Washington. They must have seen something. Like I said, I see the kid when he played against my alma mater and put up 500 against that defense, and at that time the defense was like number 12 in college. He put up 500. It got to be something. That wasn't a fluke game.
So my question is, when does the coaching staff reflect building around Mason Rudolph and not Ben Roethlisberger?
You got to help him now.
Okay.
I think this is the wake up call for the Steelers. The Steelers do have a tendency to be long in the tooth with their players, where they keep them until well, let me rephrase that. They're quarterback. So they'll get rid of every other position. Like as soon as they start declining, get rid of everybody else. But the Steelers are long in the tooth for quarterback. Going back to even my kids, when I was a kid, they could have got rid of Neil O'Donnell 2 years ahead of time. And they didn't. I mean, he went to a Super Bowl and then threw the game for us, a success game. Even going back to Terry Bradshaw was 2 years old, 3 years overdue. But because you had that defense and you had Franco running the ball, you kept him. Can't keep doing that, but, if it works, it works.
All right, so Justin, J-Dub Waters is all in on Mason Rudolph. That's what we're hearing today.
I've been saying that.
All right. Your running back situation you touched on earlier. You like the two back The two-back scheme. So we're done with this feature back notion in Pittsburgh, is what you're saying?
It's not working because the fact of the matter is Connor's health is not there. We got to run. We got to do a two-back off. But our more successful years for two-back offense. When we won the Super Bowl the first time with Big Ben, the two-back offense was Bettis and Willie Parker. When we won the Super Bowls, when we were one of the Super Bowls earlier, it was Mendenhall and I forgot. Actually, it was Mendenhall and Willie Parker. Two-back offense works for us. We got to use it. We got away with it because we had Le'Veon, and Le'Veon was a do-it-all
I'm so
guy.
glad he's not in Pittsburgh anymore. I hated that guy. I don't know what you mean. I hated that guy. I'm so glad he's in the Jets, and the Jets are still irrelevant. I'm sorry. Anyway, you did also talk about this. Your defensive now is a strength, is what you're saying, or is it that you played the Bungles?
It's the strength, because it was a strength against San Francisco, which is a formidable opponent. It was a strength against
According to who?
Well, let's see. Pro Football, actually, Full Football Talk, your people, they have San Fran up their rank. Remember, they're one of the only few teams that's still undefeated.
And who they played exactly?
I don't know who they played outside of San Francisco.
And you were 0-3 in that game? So
we're 0-2 at that time.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I'm not yet on that bandwagon with the Niners. I'll see. To be continued.
Our secondary is coming to play. We still are top 5 in stats. Our secondary, Minka's playing lights out. Now, again, like I said, I'm hoping this. If it pans out that we traded a first-round pick for maybe the 15th and down, I'm okay with it. The only thing I keep worrying about is if we blow the season up and it ends up being like a 5th and up. It's like, there's a lot to give up considering the fact you can always trade out that pick for more picks. We'll see. Again, our secondary ball 2 games in a row. We lost the San Fran game because of fumbles, because of offensive issues, not defense. Our defense came to play. Devin Bush is playing lights out. Had his first sack last game. He's a killer. I like it. We good. So I'm not really tripping about the defense as much as I am with this offense. Because if the offense can manage to score, our defense can manage to stop people on play. We got Lamar Jackson.
Real confident in this defense now.
Look, we're not the Steel Curtain of the old days, but it's a formidable defense. I mean, what you want?
I want to see if they can stop Patrick Mahomes. That's the standard.
Here's the thing. No one in the NFL, this is the homer coming out of you. Ladies and gentlemen,
no, that's the standard. No, come on now,
Reggie's
Justin.
Go ahead,
no. If we're going to do homerism, we can do homerism, but really, this is kind of like the standard because the standard was, can you stop Tom Brady? That was the standard, was it not?
The standard was, can you stop 4 quarterbacks before Mahomes? Could you stop Brady? Could you stop
Manning?
Brees? Could you stop Manning? And could you stop Aaron Rodgers?
So
and here's the issue.
What's the standard now? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not trying to be a homer.
You have one quarterback.
What's the standard now?
You have Mahomes and Brees.
That's what I just said. That's the standard.
Again,
so why are you calling me a homer?
But they're elite quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
So can you stop the elite? So basically, can you stop the elite?
Okay,
no,
that's fine.
Well, you can't stop.
Okay, let's not say elite. Let's say, can you stop a adequate quarterback? Because Andy Dalton is not that.
Okay,
and the jury's still out on Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's my question. Can you stop a good quarterback?
That's what we're about to find out. So we had Jimmy Garoppolo. We had Jimmy Garoppolo with 2 picks. Jimmy Garoppolo with a fumble.
And what I'm saying is the jury's still out on him. He's only started a few games. So let's not call him good yet. Can you stop a good quarterback, a proven quarterback? That's what I want to know.
We got what? In your opinion, you're not going to give Lamar Jackson a
hell no.
quarterback or a good quarterback.
Hell no.
So we won't go there with that. We'll just bypass on Lamar. So the next good quarterback we play is maybe Baker. You're gonna give us Baker? We do have Phillip Rivers this year.
We got Phillip. So you telling me the jury's not out on Baker Mayfield? What's he done?
That's what I said. We're not counting Baker.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Hold on a minute.
Baker.
I'm like,
the next elite.
They got all like. Could you imagine Patrick Mahomes with both Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr.? Are you in really? Wow.
Yeah, I knew you were going there with that.
I'm just saying, Baker Mayfield, Baker Bustfield. Anyway, who you got this week?
Boy, I'm going with the Steelers. We're at home and the Ravens are showing a lot of holes. They're showing Swiss cheese. So,
you're welcome.
Some of it. Oh, here you go.
I'm just saying, you're welcome. Did you see those holes before? I mean, granted, they had only played the Dolphins and what, Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, granted that, but still, you're welcome.
So we'll see about what we can do against Lamar Jackson. We know we're going to run the ball, and the biggest thing is what Miami did not do is they didn't spy the quarterback. Because if you spy the quarterback, i.e. what y'all did, whomever your inside linebacker did a pretty good job, that's how you win. You spy the quarterback, so basically you make him throw. It's almost the same thing with Baker Mayfield, except Baker Mayfield has the weapon. You make him throw. You make sure you have coverage on Marcus Brown because Marcus Hollywood Brown thinks he's his cousin Antonio Brown, which is not the truth. But okay, we'll see.
At least he's not a diva yet.
Like what? Yes, he is. The dude came into the game with a grill on and Sutton in a suit with his jewelry. They said he's already spent like his bonus check on jewelry and clothes. I'm like, okay, well, this dude really thinks that's why the Steelers. I knew the Steelers weren't even going to touch him. It's like, yeah, he probably thinks he's his cousin. They don't need another headache like that. But so I'm going with the Ravens at home.
Wait, you're going with who?
No, I'm playing. I'm going with the Steelers. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention.
I was paying attention.
At home. I'm going with the Steelers at home. Make us 2-3. We start getting get on the schneid a little bit.
So I hate to agree with you. I don't think we've done that on the Steelers game yet.
We have not.
All right. Well, I'm gonna agree with you because I like I said, Lamar Jackson is a fraud. So I'm going Steelers.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. Okay, so in a perfect world, if you were a GM seeing Lamar Jackson for what he did at Louisville, would you be one of the ones that say, "Hey, man, it's time for you to become a wide receiver"? But he's too skinny to be a tight end. Almost like it's in theory with Tim Tebow. Or do you get the guy a quarterback coach and teach him how to be a better quarterback? Because the kid has something.
He got talent.
He got the flick of the wrist. He got that. He looks like a poor man's Michael Vick on some days, and some days
So look, I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not anti-Lamar Jackson. I'm just. These people need to shut the hell up acting like Lamar Jackson is good because he's not. And he can be good. But these people need to shut up trying to make it like he's already that because he's a running quarterback. Yes, it is very hard in the National Football League to defend a running quarterback. He would be a monster if he had an inkling of accuracy. If he had a smidgen of accuracy, he would be an absolute monster. So, no, I wouldn't make him a wide receiver or a running back. I just think that let's calm down on making him great. He's not Michael Vick yet. And Michael Vick needed this. He still, even when he was his best, he still needed work. So, he's got a ways to go, is all I'm saying.
Well, with Mike Vick, side note, the reason why Mike Vick didn't get any better throwing is because he wanted that damn record. Once he got the record, then he went to jail right after. Yeah. He wanted to be the only quarterback to have 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
He completely said, screw throwing, I'm running.
Yeah. You asked me about Jackson. Yes, I think he's a quarterback. I think he can be a quarterback. I just think he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't know if he's doing that work. And if he is, and he's still this raw, is this the best he can be. Because if this is the best he can be, you're going to need a real strong defense around him.
Yeah, that's true. Was you treating him like he's Tito Jackson and not Lamar Jackson? Come on.
I'm
He got a
just
little something.
no. It's yes, he is good. He's a good football player. I'm just saying I don't like the problem I have is this East Coast bias media. Every time someone on the East Coast is really good or marginally good, we want to elevate him, and he's not there. He's marginally good right now. He's better than half the quarterbacks in the league just by default that they're awful. I'm just saying.
The only thing I got to say is he got exposed when he played against y'all because that was probably one of the most disappointing games in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
where I thought
everybody was all over the Ravens, and it was a joke.
I wouldn't say it all over the Ravens. I just thought it would be a great game.
Yeah.
And stat-wise, obviously you're talking apples and oranges when you're talking passing with Mahomes versus Jackson.
Yes.
But it just didn't.
It didn't live up to the hype.
It was like that at all.
Since
and
we started talking. Go ahead.
And with y'all defense, it was like, okay, this kid may run some yards. This may be pretty good.
We did a good job.
Eh.
We did a good job.
Yeah.
And we showed you all, we gave you all a blueprint. Quit hating. Anyway, since we're talking about us, and it's that time of day, let's move on to the Chiefs. What? I didn't say that. When Pittsburgh's favorite son talks about the Steelers, I give you your space. I give you your rants.
I ain't saying nothing. Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. Speaking of my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and my quarterback, with an amazing fourth quarter comeback. This is a game the Chiefs should have lost. Like, completely should have lost. They're on the road against a 3-0-1 team or 2-0-1 team in a dome. First time in Mahomes' professional career, he's in a dome, and he's off the entire game. He's a tick off, and you can tell. I'm like, is he just a better outdoor quarterback than indoor? I've never seen that in a quarterback before. But Mahomes was just off all game. And then when he was on, our receivers were fumbling. Like, this should be the blueprint to beat the Chiefs now. Punch the ball. Because our receivers clearly don't want to hold on to it when it's being punched. But in the game we should have lost, Patrick Mahomes rallies his team, and the Chiefs win this game. This, to me, the legend of Mahomes just got better because he won this game without even throwing a touchdown pass.
You know what he is to me? Patrick Mahomes is looking a lot like Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, no. He's better.
We're basically, y'all have similar issues. Y'all are stellar quarterback, stellar line.
Line is not stellar.
Your line is balling. Sorry.
Really? Cameron Irving is right now the starting left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Your line is proving to be top 10.
I'm so impressed with Cam Irving.
How many times has Patrick Mahomes?
That's what I'm saying. I'm so impressed with Cam Irving. I'm really holding my breath.
Cam is now living up to his hype.
Yeah, I'm holding my breath every week. Ever since that first quarter in the first game he started, he's been solid, and I'm like holding my breath every game.
So, with that being said, you have a stellar line. You have a stellar quarterback. It's not stellar.
You know, okay, you want to talk about my line? The Cleveland Browns drafted my center and my starting left tackle right now, and they let him walk. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes is at the bottom of the list in getting sacked.
Because the kid can move.
Doesn't matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. He's not getting sacked, period.
Because the kid can move.
Okay, he can move and groove and shake his face.
And that's what he's doing. Nah, bro.
Okay.
Look at his average release time. He is being pressured. He's just getting rid of the ball. The problem with these running quarterbacks, and we can talk about this really fast. These running quarterbacks are always trying to make a play with their legs. So they hold on to the ball longer than they should. He's not. He's a quarterback. He's the old school quarterback that just happens to be elusive, not fast, not a scrambler.
You know what? You know what Patrick Mahomes comparison-wise to? Now, the system y'all playing, the way y'all playing reminds me of Green Bay a couple years ago. But Mahomes, to me personally, is Steve Young without a wide receiver.
Steve Young was a running quarterback early.
Steve Young in San Francisco.
Mahomes was never a running quarterback. And what I say is Brett Favre. The young Brett Favre.
Which was a gunslinger. Here's the thing I won't say Brett Favre because, and I was a Packers fan back in the days. My aunt actually dated Sean Jones years ago, so I had to be a Packers fan. She still kind of talks to him, even though they. Anyway, if Mom's listening, she probably won't kill me for that line. But the reason why I won't say Brett Favre is because Brett Favre took a lot of uncalculated risks.
That's true.
Patrick Mahomes is not taking as many. Like Brett had to get slapped a couple of times by Reggie White and probably.
Yeah, he's a smarter Brett Favre though.
I'm still saying AR. I'm still saying he's more Aaron Rodgers than Brett Favre. If y'all get a outside of Tyreek, if y'all can get one more receiver,
we don't need
more possession receiver.
We don't need one.
Your guys,
no, when you bring Tyreek back with this receiving core, with Sammy playing the way he's playing, with DeMarcus Robinson, and DeMarcus Robinson emerging the way he has, we are set if Tyreek comes back. Like, the league should be really on pins and needles for Tyreek Hill being healthy because the way they've played without him, good Lord, imagine that speed, knowing how to run routes on that field with Jesus. It's just scary to think about.
The question is, though, I do have to say, is you actually are doubting your offensive line. But here's my question with Detroit. You hate Matthew Stafford. We've talked about that during the first podcast.
He played well. And
I'll start giving him his credit?
I'm going to touch on something that Eric Bieniemy said in his press conference this week. The Chiefs are getting everybody's best shot. It's kind of like the Patriots are getting everybody's best shot. The Chiefs, the hype is on. When you play the Chiefs, the hype is there, and we're getting everybody's best every week. The Chiefs are having to beat the best every week. There's not a lull. So even Detroit played a great football game. I really give them the fact that they punched the ball out of receivers' hands 4 times, including one that was a touchdown that Sammy Watkins just got the ball punched out of him. So I'm just saying, we're getting everybody's best shot. It's not somebody thinking they got a week off when they play the Chiefs.
Well, y'all been like that for the last 2 years just because of Mahomes.
Yeah. But, not really.
So
the jury was out on Patrick last year up until like week 8 when they realized he was legit. But they didn't think he was going to be this.
Time out. The jury stopped on Patrick Mahomes after he killed us. That's when it stopped.
No, that's when the jury. When the jury came in for you.
Ooh.
The rest of the league still you still got the Eric Manginis of the world that hate Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's just because Eric Mangini is an old school guy. Let's be honest. I don't think Eric Mangini likes brothers as quarterback.
He's a piece of shit.
But anyway, it's just a whole different
another one of Belichick's bitch that didn't do anything on his own in this league and I don't know why they have a microphone in his freaking mouth. I just don't get it, but I digress.
Because they love former coaches. Former
bad coaches?
He's a former coach.
Bad coach. Well, shit, if that's the criteria, there's a lot of former coaches out there that were bad like this guy. All he had, like I said, he was just Belichick's bitch for a couple years and got him a couple rings. I'm tired of him shitting on my quarterback.
Dude, you're sensitive about the quarterback. He's telling you this.
The dude's the MVP of the league. Like, what the hell else does he have to do? What does he need to prove?
Bro.
He's already the MVP of the league in his first year as a starting quarterback. Who's done that?
So let me ask you a question. When they got on Cam and he won the MVP, and
was it his first year as a starting quarterback?
It doesn't matter.
It
does.
The
whole point is they got on. It was his 4th year. So what's the difference?
And Cam always had issues with accuracy. You can't say that about Patrick Mahomes. You have no issues with his game. He's not forcing passes like everybody thought he was going to do. He's playing great football. So what is your issue with the kid other than he's playing great and you don't like it?
Well, yeah,
if that's your issue, that was my issue with Peyton Manning and John Elway for years. So get over it.
But they always had their commentators. It's just like what we're doing now. They have, in their opinion, they have to find something wrong.
Bro, this is the problem. When it was Peyton Manning, nobody questioned Peyton Manning, okay? When it was John who? Until
they questioned Peyton Manning
because he couldn't win a Super Bowl.
Okay,
because he couldn't win a Super Bowl.
He couldn't even get
correct because he choked in the playoffs. But other than that, Manning was God, correct?
He was the regular season guy. Brett Favre every year, and everybody knew it. Brett Favre, they said he took too many fucking risks.
And it didn't matter. He was still a god.
I mean,
it was synonymous around the league that he was enamored. The league, all the broadcasters were enamored with these guys. The problem with Patrick Mahomes is he happens to be half a brother, and because he's half a brother, they got problems with it.
That's the Kool-Aid.
They don't like the fact that half a brother is the best quarterback in the NFL. Not even a whole brother, half a brother. Like his game is so complete. It's so sick that they hating on this guy.
I don't know why you saying half a brother. He a whole brother because if he get arrested, he a whole brother. You daggone
right. But to them, he half a brother. And sometimes they want to forget he got that half because they love the fact that he's that light.
Because regardless of the matter, it's going to be what it's going to be. But again, going back to Mahomes, yeah, he's playing lights out. Like I said, there's nothing really to knock against him except for the fact of the matter is they found something against him where he didn't score a touchdown or he's doing too much. Me personally, hey,
wait,
let the boy shine.
I'm sorry. You talking about last week?
What? Yeah, I'm going off of last week because I'm going after
really. They said that wasn't a good game by Patrick Mahomes. If that's not a good game,
you're not going to do. You're not going to listen to the commentator. So I actually sat down because I know you're not going to listen to Eric Mangini. I know that for a fact. You're not going to listen to Troy Aikman. I know that for a fact.
Troy Aikman, no. I don't have a problem with Aikman other than he decided that after 1 year, Mahomes should have a ring already. And he was average at best. But otherwise, that game he called the other day, the only problem I had with him, and I think he's a little racist too when it comes to black quarterbacks. The only problem I had with him is he didn't give Russ the credit Russ deserved for that throw he made at scoring that touchdown.
One of the greatest throws, at least this season.
This is the best throw I've ever seen.
It goes up there to some of Aaron Rodgers, more recently, some of those Hail Marys that Aaron Rodgers did.
What I'm telling you is you can take all the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, sprint them left, and have them try to make that throw and give them 300 attempts and see how many can land that throw in that spot, in that window. And I'm telling you, I don't think it'll ever be done again.
I also got to give some credit to Tyler Lockett because how many years in a row that they said little Tyler Lockett is just basically, you know what he was or what people claim he is? He was their version of Dante Hall.
Yep.
Where he's not a wide receiver. He's a punt return specialist because that's what he mainly was at Kansas State. No. What this dude is a baller, and he just shows he did a Tony two-tap with that one, and that was like –
it was a hell of a catch.
Salute to them.
And I celebrate that catch because it was a hell of a catch. But the only way you have that catch is a remarkable throw. And a Hall of Fame quarterback on national TV did not give that throw the credit it deserved. And that is insulting. And I can only think it's because that quarterback is half a brother.
No, Russ is full brother.
I'm just saying. He's
full brother.
I know.
But yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's sad. Like, that's the best throw I've ever seen on the football field. Like, ever. And the fact that we're not talking about the throw like this is insane to me. Yes, the catch was great, but it wasn't exactly an impossible catch. The ball was like a roll of toilet paper in a spot, and all he had to do was get his feet together. So Yeah, that throw was remarkable, and I'm telling you, I don't think Russ can ever make that throw again in a live football game, and I don't think any other quarterback makes it at all.
I hate to say this, but there was one commentator that said that was the ghost of Paul Allen. I was like, really? Really? So it's the ghost of Paul Allen because they dedicated Paul Allen, of course, the former owner of the Seahawks that passed away. They sat there and literally said that was Paul Allen's ghost, and that was.
I don't know what you call it, but that play will probably never be repeated again like that in NFL history. That's what I'm saying.
And I agree, and I've been in that stadium. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about the Chiefs. The only thing we're gonna do the preview of the next of Indianapolis, but I am gonna do my quick rant. No, I really need to cover what's here. Because these 10-point deficits is on my damn nerves, and it's time for it to stop. You can't have a 10-point deficit to start off every game because when you play Tom Brady, he's not going to stop scoring. You can't fall behind 10 points. The Chiefs need to get off their ass in the first quarter and start playing football from the beginning of the game until the end of the game.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Y'all shouldn't have to. I mean, I keep saying, yeah, a lot of people sleep on Detroit. Well, they sleep on what's his face on Stafford.
He's a bum. He was really good last week. He was really good last week. I'm gonna give him credit. He was really good last week. I don't know if he was really good or our defense was really that bad, but he was really good. And again, we're still getting everybody's best shot. So he was pretty pumped to play Patrick Mahomes.
Well, because they're young gunslingers. I think you know how the NFL is. It's an ego thing.
Yeah, the old guard is holding on with every nook and cranny. They're not trying to let it go.
Well,
even though he was never that guy. I'm just saying. Anyway, but yeah, this 10-point deficit, man, like when we play New England, you can't fall behind 10 points and think you're going to come back every game. You can get away with this against some of these teams like who the hell did we beat last week? It don't matter. Whoever we played, Detroit, and then the week before that too. But you can't do that against a playoff team with someone that's got a good quarterback. He may not be Patrick Mahomes. You won't be able to do that against the Chargers, I think.
No, you can do that against the Chargers because Phillip Rivers is still on.
He's gonna throw you a couple of games. He's Brett Favre.
New England because he's not going to go deep.
That's who Brett Favre is, Phillip Rivers, without the success.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But if you go against the New England, if you go against a team that knows how to manage the clock, y'all will lose.
You're gonna lose. So we can't keep doing it. And Andy's got to say something. I appreciate last week's game going the way it did because they did find out a lot about themselves as a team, the adversity they can deal with. Great. However, they got to come out guns blazing Sunday because this 10-point deficit shit is old and it's scary, and I don't need to feel like this during a football game. I'm just saying. Anyway, last rant, Chiefs, pay Chris Jones. This dude is a ball hawk. He is absolutely destroying quarterbacks, still at a pace that the only other defensive tackle that I've ever seen do it was Aaron Donald. Like, Chris Jones needs to be paid. And if you're not going to pay him, get something for him now.
Dear Dallas Cowboys, pay Dak Prescott so Patrick Mahomes
can get his contract.
And this way Chris Jones can be paid.
No, because Patrick can't sign a contract extension until next year anyway. So this is about Chris Jones.
That's what they wait for.
He can't.
This is what they're waiting for. They paid every. Y'all already gave him an extension to Hill. So y'all obviously say y'all can do extension. What are y'all waiting for? That's the fact.
Bro, I'm sorry, but they got to pay this dude. Yes, there's factors like Kendall Fuller is a free agent. Let his ass walk. I want Chris Jones on my football team. Draft a cornerback because Kendall Fuller's not playing that great any damn way. But you're not going to draft another Chris Jones. I'm sorry. You're not. Pay the man. Get a man his money. The Chiefs got the Colts this week. Justin Houston makes his return to Arrowhead Stadium. The Colts pay Justin Houston $9 million a year. He's got 11 tackles and 1 sack after 4 games. can you say overpaid?
But they were trying to figure out something.
What?
So, yeah, okay. They were trying to figure out to see if he still had the magic. Most teams, most players like that, look at it. There's very few players that leave a team and still have that same magic that they had originally. You can't name.
No.
How many years was
Neil
Justin
Smith
with the Chiefs?
Neil Smith. That's the last one I remember
Maybe.
did it like that. Ain't no maybe. Neil Smith balled in Denver.
Well, when Jared Allen left y'all.
Yeah, the Vikings.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But like I said, and I'll say that. And Julius Peppers, when he left Carolina, he did.
So it happens.
Great years.
But
Houston is injury prone. Those other guys didn't have that many injuries.
It's not even just that. Like, you don't go from having knee surgery to a dome team. That's stupid. Your agent is not smart.
Your agent is getting paid. He's not worried about that. He's worried about his.
He should, because if this is your last contract, he screwed himself because he made this happen.
He only signed a 1-year deal. So basically, Justin Houston's paying for this 1-year deal. They get the contract. They keep it moving.
At the end of this season, if on this page, Justin Houston, an outside linebacker, is going to have 4 sacks and 44 tackles. No one is going to sign him.
Someone will pull that trigger.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That'll be
always
done.
happen.
Eric Berry can't get a job right now, and he's much better than Justin Houston.
We already went there with Eric Berry. Eric Berry didn't get the surgery. If he gets the surgery, then he'll be on an NFL roster. So but he's refusing to get the surgery for whatever reason, so that's on him.
I picked up Jacoby Brissett today, too. So this game, I think the Chiefs are going to win. Marlon Mack is a little bruised up. And I like our secondary. I know people are harsh on it. People are still complaining about our defense. I think our defense is a lot better than people are thinking. If you give up 3 turnovers and you hold the other team under 30 points, I think you're doing good because we gave them the ball 3 times that they didn't have the ball. You take away those 3 possessions, they got 17 points? You hold a team to 17 points against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you're going to win 16 out of 16 games. So I'm not.
I believe y'all going to be in a shootout.
I don't think so. First off, Hilton's nicked up too. I don't see Brissett as that quarterback. I like him a lot, but I don't see him as that guy. I don't think that's his type of game. I think he's a game manager, middle of the field quarterback. So we'll see. But I like the Chiefs 34-27.
I was actually going to pick the same exact score, so I got to change it. So I'll go, I'll take it one notch down. I'll go 34-21.
All right.
I like Brissett now.
I do. You're on my bandwagon now. Because I've been saying this since the first game. Before the first game, everybody was shitting on him like he's a scrub or something.
Well, think about it. The year before,
but it was his first experience in the league, and he had to learn a new playbook and start the games at the same time.
He won 5 games as a Patriot.
Bro, but he had been in that system. He got traded in the preseason, had to learn the system, don't know these guys, and y'all mad that he wasn't great? That's sick. So I've been on his bandwagon. I'm still on his bandwagon. I think he's going to be a solid quarterback. I think they got a deal for this year and next year at the $15 million a year. So, yeah, I'm all in on Brissett. Moving to the Texans. The Texans lost last week. Deshaun Watson had 160 yards passing. This is a team, like I told you earlier in the show, that I called one of the top 4 teams in the league. And with Breeze going down, they should be in the top 3. They didn't play like it against Kyle Allen and the Panthers last week, and I'm starting to have some questions about the Texans. What about you?
Here's the thing. I keep telling you, until my biggest rant we've been going on was that trade right before the season started, right after preseason. I said, if you can't protect that kid, if you can't protect Deshaun Watson, y'all are pretty much spinning your wheels. And this
I'm
going
to ask a question, though, because some of this is self-inflicted with them taking these sacks. And these running quarterbacks. That's why we talked about a little bit with Patrick, because he's not a running quarterback. He's always looking to pass. When he's scrambling, he's not looking to scramble for yards. He's looking to pass. These guys are holding this ball thinking that I'm this good that I can escape, and they're giving up sacks that they shouldn't be giving up.
Here's the thing. To a certain extent, I may agree with you. Watching some of that game last week, Deshaun was running for his life. It wasn't like he was trying to make the Vic play or the old school Randall Cunningham play. My man was getting killed, and Laramie Tunsil was not protecting. The kid they just drafted, I can see why the GM got fired, because Deshaun was getting nailed. You do realize he had got 19 sacks. 19 sacks.
He's getting murdered.
He can't be holding the ball. He's running for his life now.
I mean, but I'm telling you, at least 2 of those sacks a game are because Deshaun will not get rid of the ball. And some of that is coaching. If you know your line is not good, you got to coach quick routes. Like, this is not about, I want to get the big play. I don't want my quarterback killed, and I want to move the football. So some slants, some hitch routes. These are things that you do to try to loosen that defense up from that immense pass rush.
But here's also the thing. They're not getting – the Texans are playing one-trick pony, D-Hop deep. They're not even letting D-Hop go
but
in the
again,
middle.
That's coaching.
Will Fuller deep. I agree. It's just the fact of the matter is, Deshaun, we're just going to go ahead and see how fast you go. If D-Hop's getting triple team, if Will Fuller's hurt, and Kenny Stills is now hurt, and neither one of those two are getting open, y'all don't have a tight end. Because y'all are saying fail.
I beg to differ. And again, what I'm saying is this. When D-Hop is healthy, when all those guys were healthy, and they were scoring all those points, Deshaun Watson was still getting sacked. And the reason that he's still getting sacked is because they have not actually acknowledged as a coaching staff that their offensive line is a weakness, and we need to start throwing slants and quick routes to get the ball out of his hand to protect this guy and to win football games.
The other factor is that you still need a running game too. The Texans, let's just be real. The Texans' offense is not scary.
The Chiefs don't have a running game.
But the fact of the matter is Patrick Mahomes is getting enough time to make things happen.
Because when he does it, Patrick Mahomes gets rid of the football. He will take an intentional grounding penalty if he doesn't have something. This guy doesn't do that.
We just watched a team on Thursday that doesn't have a strong running back. They have a good running game, basically running back by committee, meaning the Seattle Seahawks. But basically, in a nutshell, 2 factors. The line blocks, and I always will say it, I've been saying this for a couple years, they traded Dwayne Ward-Brown. Yeah, he had the comment about the McNair ownership.
And he needed to have the comments, and I think the league should have made McNair sell the team instead of Dwayne Brown being traded, because that was a racist comment. It should never have been allowed.
Totally honest, agree with you. And the fact of the matter is, when you traded Brown to Seattle, you traded probably you're trading a Hall of Fame. Yes, I said it. Yes, Hall of Fame.
I disagree.
Hall of Fame.
I strongly disagree.
Left tackle. He's been to the Pro Bowl 8 times.
That doesn't make you a Hall of Famer.
But in the same note, you're probably their best offensive tackle since going back to the Tony Baselli days.
That's true.
And you get rid of him, knowing you got this franchise kid here to protect. And at that point, that was his rookie year. So the Texans, by default, are sometimes self-sabotaging
reaping
themselves.
What they sow is what you're saying. You chose your racist owner over the black guy that stood up to the racist owner.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I can agree with that, but I'm going back to this. Deshaun Watson's got to do better at getting rid of the ball, and Bill O'Brien's got to do better at giving him a game plan to have somebody short to get rid of the ball. And if you have people that can't get open short, then you need to reevaluate, because there's a lot of people on some practice squads that know how to run some damn slants. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but then again, we'll keep stressing it. There's a couple of factors dealing with, because right now the 2 best quarterbacks in the league should be Mahomes, outside of course Brady and Brees. Mahomes and Watson, because they're the new young guns, both from the same draft. Both of them have a lot of talent and potential.
Yeah,
The
and
reason
but
why they're
Mahomes is
not the
smarter
same,
than Deshaun Watson on the football field.
but you can also, if someone sits you down in the classroom, not to say you're going to become Einstein if
That's
you
true.
are,
He's had a great quarterback room. I agree with that.
right.
Yeah.
If you sit down and coach this kid, because here's the one thing with both kids, they are coachable. Again, this is not Mike Vick, this is not Cam, where these kids aren't listening to what their coaches are telling them and just like, I'm gonna do what I do because I got here with it.
I just think Deshaun's got a bad coach.
That's what it is. But the Texans are not going to make
that move.
Nope, because you let him become the president. Why would you let him become the president of the team? For what reason is beyond me. But you let him become the president of the team.
I mean, but the other general managers wasn't doing shit anyway, so why not give him a shot? Maybe he could have been blaming them. So now he gets to shop for the groceries.
No.
He still can't call a game.
I'm not saying Rick Smith did everything he could. If everything was said and done, if Rick Smith listened to ownership and the fans, J.J. Watt wouldn't have been a Texan. Remember, J.J. Watt was slated to be a lower round, first round, early second round pick, and he went 10th. And look what J.J. Watt became.
He turned into a monster, at least for a few years before he started getting hurt.
D-Hop, exactly. And that's just how the way it is. D-Hop was supposed to be a lower round draft pick. He went kind of high because I just remember Mel Kiper.
Now he's the number one receiver in the league.
The Texans traded up to get Deshaun Watson after Mahomes was gone, where all these people sat there and said the Texans should have waited and got whomever else was in the draft that was Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson is balling. The only mistake Rick Smith did, and he listened to ownership about it, is he didn't trade out that number one pick to the Raiders, where the Raiders would have had Clowney, and the Texans would have had multiple picks and Khalil Mack. So imagine if you would have had Khalil Mack and JJ on the same squad.
So my manager asked an interesting question about Rick Smith and them firing their general manager this year and them letting O'Brien take over. He said his theory is they're going to let Rick Smith come back next year.
I don't believe it. I see Rick Smith a lot at church because he goes to Wheeler. I've seen him a lot at church, especially after his wife passed away. God rest his life. He don't look like he's even interested in dealing with the Texans anymore. If he gets that call to another team, I could see him moving along, going there. I don't see him with the Texans.
Why? You just said he still lives here and goes to church here. Why not?
I just think it's an ego thing.
Maybe he wasn't ready to come back. Maybe he'll be ready next year.
You relieve a man of his duties while he's still good. Then you use the excuse of his wife being sick. And he sat there and even said to the media, no, I can still do my job, but since they let me have an opportunity to check on my wife. So in my eyes, it was like, okay, I'm going to be the PC guy with it and not try to go against the NFL organization so I can get another job. I don't see Rick Smith coming back because if they did, when they fired that GM the week after the draft for drafting the kid from Alabama State, wherever Alabama something, it ain't University of Alabama. When they fired him, they could have picked up Rick Smith right then and there. Instead, you give everything to Bill O'Brien.
So you're saying he's ready to go back to work now? Because, like I said, my manager's contention is maybe he wasn't quite ready, and they're letting him sit out another year and bring him back next season.
It's not like he's a coach. It's not like he's a player.
Well, a general manager is a stressful job because unlike a coach or a player, he's always looking at rosters. He's always trying to see how to make his team better and balancing a budget and looking at contracts for next year to extend. There's a lot of work that goes into that job.
I'll make it plain and simple. If they fire O'Brien to bring in Smith, that's how it's going to be.
Why would they have to fire O'Brien? Does he not want to work with O'Brien?
Because he has all the power. He's a GM,
well, he won't be.
And a coach.
He won't be, and he knew that. This was a temporary situation. They said they were going to hold off on bringing in a general manager until after the season. They didn't say he was going to be GM.
That coach's relationship with McNair's son is a very strong relationship. That's why I say it's going to be It would be shocking to me for them to bring in Rick Smith and relieve O'Brien of the GM duty. It would be shocking.
So you just took care of the next subject too, then, because you just said O'Brien is too close to Cal McNair, so he's definitely not on the hot seat then.
No, he's not.
Well, he should
I'm gonna say that for a fact.
This is a team that, like I said, is one of the on paper. This is one of the top 4 teams in the National Football League, and for them to be 2-2, losing the game to an undrafted quarterback last week is absolutely insane. So, if you're saying he's not on the hot seat, I say if he doesn't have a winning season, he should be fired. The hell with a hot seat.
If he doesn't have a winning season, yes, he should be fired.
He's 2-2 right now. The first quarter of the season, he's 500.
If he goes 9-7,
fired.
And nope, I think he stays.
Bullshit.
I think the Texans give him another chance if he goes 9-7.
Because he's been 9-7 the last 3 years. You can't. That's not good enough. And to have the quarterback you have, to have the number 1 receiver in the league, to have Will Fuller healthy, to have traded for Kenny Stills, to have traded for Tunsil, and 9-7 ain't good enough. Basically. Yeah, you gave away the direction of your team for these moves. So 9-7 is not good enough. 9-7 should get him fired, and if it doesn't, then I think we're looking at another Cincinnati Bengals situation.
That's it. That's what I wanted you to say. This is where I feel it's going to be. You're looking at another Marvin Harrison because Marvin Lewis and the ownership was so cool with each other. It didn't matter if they went 4-12 or 12-4.
Let me tell you something. If they don't sell out NRG, it will matter.
They're sold out for here's the problem. They're sold out for the next 4 years.
Yeah, you got a waiting list and all that, but believe me, people stop showing up to games. If NRG Stadium is not selling concessions because those seats are empty, change will happen. And I know a lot of people in Houston that absolutely loathe this coach, and they are looking for a reason to light up these radio stations and the Twitter websites and all this stuff to get rid of this coach. A lot of people in Houston. So I'm telling you, if he doesn't finish but 9-7, the city's gonna talk. And I don't give a damn how much Cal McNair likes him. If them seats are empty and he's not making money, he's out the door.
I'll be honest with you. The Texans should have never had him in the first place.
I
agree. They should have gave it to Bill Cowher. Because the problem is, this is the thing I'm saying. Bill Cowher wanted to be president and coach. Y'all didn't give it to him. Okay.
A Super Bowl winning coach.
Correct. But y'all gave him, but the funny thing is y'all did the same thing with Bill O'Brien.
Well, that was by default.
But
now, I don't know why they fired this general manager like they did.
Because supposedly ownership didn't like that move, which I didn't get. He didn't like the draft pick of the Armstead kid. But if you're ownership and you're in that war room, because I don't know many general managers in any sport, unless James Dolan with the Knicks, that is not in the war room with when it's draft day.
Yeah,
that's the confusing thing.
Yeah.
So you fire him, but you're the one, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's cutting the check.
Yep.
So if I don't like it, then, we just going to make a move on it, son. It's not going to be worth it. But that's why I didn't get that, where it's like, well, he wasn't, they weren't fond of, the ownership wasn't fond of the deal. Y'all let him pick it. Damn that. If I'm going ahead and I'm using my money, I'm picking what the hell I want to do with it. If you let him pick, that's on y'all. Y'all shouldn't fire the coach. Y'all should fire yourself.
Yep, I agree. So, like I said, this guy, look, ownership needs to butt out of football operations and let the people that they pay do the job. But 9-7 is not good enough, and especially like I said, I believe this is one of the top 4. This is the number 3 team in the AFC, and one of the top 4 teams in the league. And the fact that they're 2-2 right now is a reflection of Bill O'Brien's lack of innovation, being able to adjust, and his lack of preparedness. Because there's no way in hell you should have lost to Kyle Allen and the Panthers last week. I'm just sorry, you should not have. So like I said, it's a lot of people here that mumble about this coach. And speaking
What's
of,
going to be interesting is going to be tomorrow. They play an Atlanta squad that's technically down, and a happy Julio, and you put Joseph on Julio. Boy, somebody about to eat. I'm glad I ain't got Julio going against me in fantasy football.
Bro,
I'm just saying.
Okay. Let's do that then. Real quick, you said Kenny Stills is hurt.
Kenny Stills is hurt.
And Fuller is still Fuller.
So that means he could be hurt.
He could get hurt any second. Yeah, he could be hurt any second. Is Kenny Stills going to play?
They have him on probable, but you never know. So if he does play, it'll probably be limited action.
Okay. I still think this is I still believe this is one of the top 4 teams in the league. Now, let me tell you, I don't believe this is one of the top 4 coaches in the league, and he could coach them out of this game. The only saving grace is the coaching in Atlanta is worse. I'm gonna pick the Texans.
I'm gonna pick the Texans just because they're at home.
Well, we both picked the Texans.
That's the only reason.
I think we're in sync on every pick for the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only reason why I'm picking is the Texans are at home.
I think you're starting to go with me because I've been beating you all year.
I don't know about all that one. See, we've been kind of even for the most part, bro. Even on the Swiss picks, you win one, I win one the next week. So I don't know.
Yeah. And so Julio, you brought him up. Everybody is still in love with Julio. Why? He's only had one good game this season.
I haven't been paying attention to Atlanta football like that.
You know why?
He hasn't had that many points on fantasy football.
You know why you haven't been paying attention to Atlanta?
They're not that good.
They suck. They are not a good football team.
Like the Super Bowl curse hit them hard.
Bro, it's not a curse. Their quarterback's been overrated forever.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people in ATL definitely.
You know what? I'll give you this. We talked about him earlier. Of the two Matts, I would rather have Matt Stafford in Atlanta. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a second.
Matt Ryan has been overrated for years.
Well, I mean, I never really liked the Matt Ryan pick. It was really, to me, in my opinion, y'all picked Matt Ryan because y'all were trying to basically get rid of everything dealing with Michael Vick. So y'all completely picked a different quarterback. Y'all picked the thoroughbred white kid from Boston.
But TV has overrated this guy too. They gave him the nickname Matty Ice. This dude is, listen, he is an average quarterback at best.
Well, yeah, Matty Ice. Yeah, that one I don't get either. But they gave him Matty Ice because of that year he had when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's when he had Julio Jones younger and playing like a superstar. Like I said, of the two Matts, I would love to have seen Matt Stafford in Atlanta with Julio Jones. Then I might be on Julio Jones.
Well, here's the thing. He got paid, and the only reason why I would say this game might be slightly different because of the Texans with Julio is because you have Joseph. On Julio Jones, which to me is...
Joseph is good against everyone not named T.Y. Hilton.
Hey, Julio going to eat. I'm sorry. If people think Julio ain't going to at least get at least 90 yards with one-on-one coverage, which the Texans love,
90 yards is nothing, man.
Y'all they tripping if you don't think Julio's not going to
gets to 150. 90 yards is nothing. That's literally that's like making one cut.
I'm saying 90 yards because Julio can't stay healthy, so he may only get 90 yards and all of a sudden.
And this is what I'm telling you. I'm glad you said that because now I don't have to. Yeah. So we're both picking the Texans over the Falcons. I think we're both going to be wrong. because I don't know. Like I said, this is a battle of bad coaches, and I'm thinking that the Texans' talent should be superior at home. So I think the battle of the bad coaches, this one would go to O'Brien for now. And then since we're on that note, really quickly, week 6, is it? Yeah, week 6. We're going to be back on Wednesday because I will be out of town to go back, make my return to Arrowhead Stadium to see the Texans and Chiefs at Arrowhead. I can't wait.
Yeah, so you're going to talk a whole bunch. I feel bad for any of the because Texans fans do travel, but
you don't understand.
I would hate to see any of the Texans fans.
I go to Chiefs Texans every year, even when they're here. I mean, most years they've been here. I get on the train. I get booed when I go to the game. I get booed on the train every year.
Yeah, but that's because Texans are passionate. They're sensitive people.
And the Chiefs
They're
are
more
too.
sensitive than you would Patrick Mahomes.
Nah, I don't know if
They're
that's
sensitive.
possible, bro. The only person more sensitive to me than Patrick Mahomes is Jonathan Briscoe, who does the same thing in Kansas City. He just gets paid. Anyway, we're going to wrap up, but we're going to talk Rockets because it's that time of year again. James Harden and this three-pointer that you called the one-legged three-pointer. Let's go.
It looks bad to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't look like this is. He's fading away, and it's not like Dirt Nowitzki's one-legged shot. It's like James is fading away his leg. It's like he's doing the Captain Morgan commercial, shooting a fadeaway three-pointer. And I'm like, this shit is not going to work. But I watched the preseason game with the Clippers, and they were steadily about to call the foul on it. I'm like, dude, please don't call fouls on it. If this is James Harden's way of trying to get fouled, no one should be this damn stupid.
But
the
problem is, though, if he is trying to get fouls, it's well-deserved because James Harden gets abused during games and don't get calls.
When he drives.
Yes.
Yes.
And they won't call the foul.
No.
I mean, but they made an entire rule to keep him off the free throw line with his three-pointers, talking about the gather. So, come on. The league has been anti-James and his fouls for years. I have been anti-James and his fouls for years because I think that's literally 75% of his game. But if you get fouled, they got to call it. And they don't call it for James Harden.
But here's the thing. If you watch that shot, it's not – he's making that shot clearly. This is not a shot to make for him to start a new way of making three-pointers.
This is a way to draw fouls.
It's a new way to draw fouls because the 2 times he tried that against the Clippers and the time and on Monday when I briefly watched it with the Shanghai Sharks when I turned it off the Steelers game briefly during halftime. He's just throwing that shit up and it's just like, oh, well, it's not going. I'm going to the foul line. This is not a calculated shot. This is just a way to get fouled. Plus, and I'll sit there and say, James Harden is a great three-point shooter. He's a horrible on the baseline. His shot is at the key.
Yeah, he can't shoot. Yeah, he can't shoot from the corner. The corner three is not James's shot.
And that's what he's been trying. That little baseline one shot, hokey pokey, whatever the fuck you want to call it, he's trying it at the baseline. So in my mind, I was like, oh, he's going to try to run. This is why I think it's a new type of way to spread the floor between him and Russ. Russ takes it at the top of the key, and James goes to the side, and they're going to try to launch it.
Well,
one way or another. We'll see how it happens, but it's just something else to say, well, experiment, well, let's try it and see what will happen. But I'm not a big fan.
That's what you do in the preseason anyway. Since we're talking about it, in the preseason, Harden and Russ, second edition. This time, Harden is the MVP. What is going to happen?
Russ, for them to be effective, Russ has to be more of a distributor. If they really want to do this right, Russ may average 15 assists a game now.
Can Russ
he's
do that?
He can. If anybody can make themselves, he has. He's led the league in assists.
Yeah, he leads the league in assists, but he always has more shots than the person he's passing to.
Right, but he's also been the alpha dog on that team since Durant's been gone.
But that's only been a few years.
Right, so can he be the alpha dog? Can he go ahead and be the assist guy to the alpha dog of James Harden? Yeah, I think he can.
Well, we'll see.
If anybody can will their way to playing to playing a different style is that dude.
I still don't think the Rockets can win until D'Antoni is gone.
Oh yeah, we're total agreement. I keep saying people are like, well, they're like the number 2 team in the West. No, they're not. They're maybe 4th. Maybe 4th. They're not definitely not better than the Clippers. People are steadily forgetting about Golden State winning championships before getting to the finals before Kevin Durant, and they'll have their whole same squad. And don't sleep on D'Angelo Russell at all. The boy ball. Now they just got to figure out how they're going to make this new lineup once Clay gets back too. But them, and I'm definitely not going to sleep Denver. So
I'm sleeping on Denver because I still think last season was a fluke.
Shit, we'll see.
We will.
The Denver ball.
They did, but you know me. It was 1 year.
The only team I'm not going to give the Rockets, like everybody's giving the Rockets over. Actually, I take that back. Scratch Denver, put in Portland.
I still like Portland. I still think the best team is the Clippers. Yeah, I don't think it's close. Yeah.
Nah, in the West, no, it's not.
I don't think it's close in the league. I think the Clippers have assembled the best roster in all of basketball, and they did it with that trade that they did with the Rockets, and then just end up signing George and Kawhi. But when the Rockets went and got Chris Paul, they gave up probably the best second unit in basketball to do it, and the Clippers are just deep.
And one of the best defensive point guards.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
The Clippers are just deep.
P-Dub and Montrezl Harrell, I sat there and said,
he's always been a basketball player. Oh yeah,
and I'll be the first one to tell you that y'all got rid of Montrezl. They got Kenneth Faried because they lost Montrezl Harrell.
And then they lost Faried,
and I'm like, right. But I don't even think Faried has a team right now.
He still doesn't have a team, and he really needs the Rockets really need him.
Yeah, because you can't. Nene's hurt. He's out for. They say he may be out a couple.
First off, even if he's not hurt, he's Nene.
Right.
All right, and then Tyson Chandler's old.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
They need Nene. I mean, they need Farrell. They need Faried. Manimal, damn it. That's
they need Manimal.
Yeah.
Because right now, your best defensive player is still going to be PJ Tucker.
Yeah, and I can live with that. I still like PJ. I just hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't get old on us over the offseason.
Let's hope not. But he always is going against whoever their best defender. If it's not a big, that's what's the problem.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wear and tear when you got LeBron one day, Paul George the next day, whoever else is that. Devin Booker, Clay, you're always going against their top player because that's usually what it is. No more top elite big men outside of Karl Anthony Towns and Embiid. So you're always going against that.
Yeah, I just can't wait. We're at the preseason level, or they're in camp right now. Basketball season's coming up on us real soon. The Rockets and James Harden and Russ Westbrook are looking to team up together. Next week, we're going to see what happened between the Steelers and who you had, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Colts, the Texans, and the Falcons. Tune in next week to Underdawg Sportz. I'm Kcreginaldjr.
This is J-Dub, Justin Waters.
See you next week.
Okay.